You clicked on this video because you want to get your band noticed, or you want you as a solo artist to be noticed, and if possible, it'd be great to have a bit of overnight success. I'm here to tell you that it's not that easy. The idea of overnight success and just making it is essentially a myth. And before I get properly into this video does have a happy ending if you want some advice on how to actually get noticed. I am going to help with that. The idea of overnight success, and probably any artist that you've seen that is like an overnight success, chances are that that's not actually the case. There's so much kind of grind that has to go into being an artist and just building up an initial fan base and just having that beginning to then propel yourself into what a lot of people would call overnight success. It's often ignored, and it's like a crucial part of getting to that stage where a lot of people see it as just the overnight success. There's so many artists that have got big, say, from their first album, and to a lot of people that is, okay, that's overnight success. They've done one album and then they're just famous. But there's a lot of build up to a first album. Arctic Monkeys is a really good example of this, in that as soon as they released their first album, they really embraced the internet, and MySpace, I believe, that they really championed. From that album, they just got really good success. They got, was it number one? Did Bet You Look Good on the Dance Floor get to number one?
Yeah, of course it did.
Yeah. So that was, in a lot of people's minds, an overnight success. They'd been gigging for a long time in Sheffield before that happened. That wasn't their first thing that they'd ever made. They'd been around for years and years, trying as hard as they could to get to that stage that a lot of people just think is just instant success. And it's not instant success. There's a lot of build-up and a lot of preparation that has to go into it before that happens. There's a local artist from Sheffield that we know that looks like they're about to go on that same kind of path. Called the Sherlocks. Their debut album is due to come out very, very soon. It's looking quite good. They're being championed by HMV. I believe they're doing some album signings and a live gig at HMV. It's looking really, really good. And my prediction is that they might become one of these overnight success kind of bands. But they just aren't an overnight success kind of band. These guys have been going for ages. Me and Joe, in our first ever band, played a festival in Rotherham. It might be 2011, 2012 that we played this. And they were at that festival. And they've been working non-stop for like the past 5 years to get to this stage. I've got one of their members on Facebook, and they said, yesterday we did our 1000th gig. If you're coming into music and planning on, we'll just keep going, and then we'll have success, and we'll release this single. If it doesn't get success, then we'll do it with the next one, and you're just waiting for that success to come. Don't, because it just doesn't exist, or at least not in the way that a lot of people see it. So what's the thing to learn from that? Because really, you can't just go for 5 or 6 years like the Sherlocks have done and just hope that your debut album or your third album or your fourth album or whatever is just going to take off and just be the big success that you want it to be. Because realistically, in terms of how many artists there are compared to how many big artists there are, it's unlikely that anything like that is going to happen. But there are things that you can do along the way to just keep you as an artist growing rather than trying to get this overnight success thing. So that's kind of what I want to talk about, is to get noticed isn't really a thing, because it sounds like it's oh, you're not noticed, oh, you are noticed, as if it's like a switch that's being flicked to just be like small band, big band, and it's just not the case. It's a slow grind, a very slow curve going up. So how do you start that going? The simple thing to do is set very small goals. Let's say you do your first gig. 10 people come to it. That's fine. Most people's first gig is about the same as that. Set yourself a goal so that the next gig, in a month's time, in 2 months' time, try and get 20 people there. Now you've got a goal. You've got a thing that, okay, so now what do I need to do to get an extra 10 people to come? Print some posters, get talking to people, see if your friends who already like your band know anyone else who might like the band, and try and get a bit of a network going. Then when you've got 20 people there, hopefully you did do that. Next gig, 50 people. Okay, what did we do last time that worked? What did we do last time that didn't work? What we're going to change, and how we're going to ramp this little process that we've got going up. Get talking to more people, try and build a mailing list, get on social media, print more posters, do leafleting, go around to gigs of friends and talk to other bands and talk to people at those gigs and just build a bit of network. Okay, got 50 people at this next gig now. Okay, 100 people. We really need to start ramping this up. next gig 200 people, next gig 500 people, and just try and keep that little process that you try and build a process for kind of very slow escalation, and then when you start getting good at the methods that you're using, that will start to speed up and you'll start to have a curve of going up, and that is just the beginning of getting that sustained growth that a lot of people don't realise is what makes a band these days get big. I'm not here to talk about methods on exactly how to get people to gigs or how to build social media or how to build a mailing list. Mailing lists are really important, by the way. If you build yourself a mailing list and get some people on it, that means you've got direct contact with essentially hardcore fans, or at least people that you can build into hardcore fans. Every time that you're doing something, you can make the mailing list aware and you can promote the mailing list, and then you just get a big amount of people that are solidified within a fan base. That's really important, and I would work towards building one. But all this growth and stuff, you're not gonna get to the point where you feel like, oh, we've now been noticed. This slow growth is just something that you need to be working on. And if a company happens to, if Radio 1 comes to you and is like, we're gonna put you on that rail list because that song is awesome, fantastic. If Kerrang give you a really good review and you get loads of people rushing to your website and downloading your music, awesome. But plan your band as if that's never going to happen. If it does happen, it's a pleasant surprise. It's really cool. They've helped you along your way. Your little slope has just gone, way, and then you can keep it going. But unless you've got this very slow growth and you're just waiting for something to happen that will get you noticed, chances are that you might just stay not moving anywhere because you're hoping for something to happen that might not happen, whereas you could actually be working towards having a slow and steady growth where you're actually more likely to get picked up by bigger establishments and radio and magazines and whatever. You're far more likely to be picked up by those while you're growing, rather than just waiting for them to find your hidden gem of a song. So, sorry to burst your bubble if you happen to have thought, oh, I want to work towards an overnight success and I want that kind of instant getting noticed to happen. It doesn't really happen anymore. Even the artists that you think it does happen to, chances are they've been working for a long time before that even happened. So if you do need any help with anything along the lines of, oh, I'm kind of at this stage, how do I kind of progress? By all means, let us know in the comments and we'll get back to you and try and help with your kind of growth, because this is really important, and this little subtle growth from month to month, it is crucial to kind of building success out of your music. So we want to help with that. If there's anything that you do want help with, let us know. Thank you very much. If you want to see more videos from this series, click on this side of the screen. If you want to see our best of playlist, click on that side of the screen. Just a little note, we're not going to do a big way video, but we're just past 8,000 subscribers, so thank you very much. Yeah, I will see you next week.